Venn diagrams, the last thing before we start reviewing on Monday and we test on Tuesday. Probability is always what you want over what's possible. Don't forget that. It's the things you want over what's possible. And so if that things happen to be in a Venn diagram, I'm going to give you a really simple example. You don't have to write this out. Just listen for a second. If I asked you who likes apples in here, and then who likes ribs, as in if they're serving smoked ribs from Famous Dave's or whatever, there's going to be some people that don't like either one, and they go out here. If I asked this one, who would be like, generally like apples and I generally like ribs, that would be in here. Raise your hand if you're in that little group. You like ribs and you like apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Thank you. And then who likes apples but you're not so into the ribs? You'd like the apples but not the ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about you like ribs but you're not a big apple fan? Interesting combination. Nobody in here. All right, and then how about I don't really like either one, and that's totally cool. I actually love it if there's somebody out there. None? All right, that's fine. All right, so then right now there's literally only 20 of you, and the way we put this thing together is we put a 20 there, and that's where the total goes. You don't have to put it there, but you should somewhere write down the total, and it's as easy as you just add up all the numbers on the chart. That's it. All right. So then, what if I want to know the probability of picking somebody who likes ribs? So this is probability of ribs. If I grab any random person in here, am I 100% that they're going to like ribs? No. Well, I take what I want, which is people that like ribs, which is this and this. Now, it happens to be 0, but I still would add those together, and I get 15 as the kids that I want. Like I'm trying to find somebody who likes ribs, right? 15 out of the total on the whole graph, which is up here. 15 out of 20. You see how that would be 15 out of 20? Does that make sense? All right. That's the easy kind. They get to be more challenging, but you always come back to what you want over what's possible. Okay, so next up, I need to teach you a couple symbols. Apples, union, ribs. What in the heck does that mean? All right, I'm going to now change this to not just our class because it was a little weird because pretty much everybody liked ribs, which is awesome. But let's say I say, oh, this is 7 and this is 8, and then there's like 10 people out here. Okay, so now I got new numbers, 5, 7, 8, and 10. Okay, if I said you, this I actually want you to write. Write A-U-R. And I want you to write a couple things about the U. It means or. It does not mean and. Okay, it means or. So I put an O and an R on the two little pegs of the U. And these are big answers. There's two ways you can go on a Venn diagram. You can go with the big answer, which is almost all of the things, or the small answer, which is where they overlap. Let me show you the difference. A intersect R. See how the U is upside down now? That is an and. I'm going to, I put the A and the N is kind of like the upside down U. See how I did that? A-N-D. All right, here at 07. Okay, so your upside down U there, that's the and word. And these are small answers. Let me give you an example. How many of you have a dog? Raise your hand if you have a dog. Just keep your hand up for just a second. Now, you can only keep it up if you have a dog and a piano. See how a lot of hands went down? Small answer. Thank you. You can put your hands back down. Do you get my point? As soon as I said and, my probability got small. You had to have a dog and a piano. That's a small answer. It'll get even smaller if I say you have to have a dog and a piano, and you have to like ribs, and you have to have a smoker in your backyard. Okay, and then all of a sudden we're down to like one kid, maybe. So if you say and, you have to have a whole bunch of things, and so the answer gets small. It's kind of counterintuitive. No, I would think and means my answer would be big. It's not. If I say you have to qualify to win the prize, you have to have long hair and black shoes and have driven in an SUV today. Okay, all of a sudden I'm down to almost nobody. That's got all those things. Okay, so and are small answers, or are big answers. Have you got these straight now? Or big answers. The upside down thing, those are going to be small answers. And there's one more thing that I think is important because you're going to hear this word and I want you to know what it goes with. These upside down U's are also an intersect. Because I think most of you know that an intersection is where things overlap. So like in this graph, where do they overlap? With the middle, where the 7 is. That's the intersect. It's also a small answer. It's only one of your numbers, 7. All right, union, on the other hand, is a big answer. A union R is all of these. Remember how I said the unions are big answers? So if I said, what's A union B, you go, oh, it's the or, and it's the big answer. And if the big answer is, you include all of them. 5, 7, and 8. So that's a total of 20 out of 30. My new number is out of 30 now because I changed. You guys were too unusual in your responses, so I made up the new ones. All right, so ors include all 3 numbers. Total is 20 out of a total of 30 people. The and kind, those are small answers. You have to like apples and ribs. And so that's only this number. So it's 7 out of 30. All right. So those 2 symbols are going to come up a ton. And on the test, all we do is we say like, what's the probability of T intersect R? You got to know what it means. And intersect is the intersection. It's where they overlap. You know why they call it an intersection of 2 roads? Like right outside our school here, we have the intersection of Highway 7 and 101. If you are right in here, then you are in the intersection. You know what that means about roads, right? And that's also the place where you're on both roads. You are on 101 and you are on Highway 7. When you're in the middle of that, you're on both. You're on the intersection. That's this kind. And it's actually a fairly small amount. It's just that one little patch of concrete where the 2 roads overlap. Highway 7 is way bigger. Highway 101 is way bigger. But the intersection, you have to be on both. All right, have I gotten across that these are and problems and that the answers are small? And goes with small answer, or goes with big answer. All right, so then here's your diagram. Please write this whole thing down and give yourself one good example. All right, so make a circle, make them intersect. This is going to be peaches. I'm going to say peach pie. That's very specific, but you have to like peach pie to be in that circle. This one's going to be chipotle. And then out here we have, I don't like either one. So imagine you've just eaten a meal, you're not totally full, and they offer, here's a piece of peach pie. How many of you are going to say, yeah, I'll take the peach pie? Raise your hand if you like the peach pie. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. But do you get, all I know is that peach pie is 9 and I don't know where it goes yet? That's important because some of your questions do that to you. A lot of people would have put 9 right there, but I didn't even ask you about Chipotle, did I? So all I know is that total, these two add up to 9. Now I'm going to be a little more specific. Please be consistent. If you said you like peach pie before, stick to it. How many of you like peach pie and you would like Chipotle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So then I can use logic and go, well, there's one person that liked peach pie that didn't like Chipotle. All right. Now, who likes Chipotle in the room? Who likes Chipotle but would not want any peach pie? I'm going to pass on the peach pie. But you like Chipotle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. All right. And I'm going to just say that there were 2 kids that never answered, so I'm going to put a 2 there. Okay. Then, if I ask you, what's P-U-C? The first thing I want you to do is write down 2 words for the U. I gave you 2 words that U means. Do you remember them? I actually could have given you more, but at least 2. And what is the Peach Union Chipotle? Notice it's not a probability. All I asked is Peach Union Chipotle. All right, you should have put or, and you should have put that it's a big answer. Because so often people think it's 8, and it's not 8. It's 8 plus the 11 plus the 1, so it's 20. Who had 20? Raise your hand if you're getting this. You added 20. Okay, good. Then what's the other kind of question? Well, P intersects C. I already gave you one of the words for this, and it's intersect. What's the short word for the upside down U? And. Very good. A-N-D. And is it a big answer or a small answer? Small. You got to know this. You got to memorize this. Because then if you're tempted to be like, well, should I include peach pie and Chipotle, so don't I add them all up? No, it's a small answer. It's the intersection. It's right there. It's 8. Now I'm confused. You were doing probabilities before, but all of a sudden now you're just giving numbers. Well, it's because I'm just not dividing by how many there are. All right? So if I actually add up how many people I have, it's the 1 and the 8 makes 9, plus the 11 makes 20, plus this 2 makes 22 people surveyed. 22 people. So if I put this box around it, like we a lot of times do, then I'd put the 22 up there. You don't have to, but I like to put it somewhere. That's what they add up to. It's out of 22. So do you get, if I wanted a probability of that, I just divide by 22. Divide by 22. That's all I got to do. All right. Now, I feel like these are pretty easy until you get to the conditional probability, which is on the condition that I only talk to people who like Chipotle, then it's no longer out of 22 anymore. If I only talk to people who like Chipotle, it's out of what then? 19. Because the 8 and the 11 together make 19. Now it's going to be out of 19. Now my answers are completely different. So if I asked this, given Chipotle, that means you're only going to talk to Chipotle lovers. What's the probability of peach? Now it's not out of 22 anymore, but it's even more, a little more complicated than that. Give it your best shot. Write down what you think it is. And I guarantee you there's 2 different answers that come out. A lot of kids will say one thing and a lot of kids will say another. And then I'll have you talk to the kid next to you. So, what does that P stand for? It does not stand for peach. And this is important nomenclature. That P, that stands for probability of. Peach is there. That's probability of peach. All right. So it's a probability. So then it's a fraction. Now, have I pounded it enough that I said, if I say given, then it will not be out of 22? It's not 22 down there. It's 19 down there because those Chipotle people are the only people we can talk to. So it's out of 19. Now, if I can only talk to the 8 and the 11, the 8 are the ones who like peaches. Why not 9? A lot of people are like, there's 9 people who like peaches. We're only talking to the Chipotle lovers. So we can't talk to that 1 over here. That's why it's 8 out of 19. And I get, if you put it out of 22, that's what most questions are. It's out of 22 total. But this one said we're only talking to Chipotle people. So that changes the bottom. All right. Off this same chart then, so you don't have to draw another one. Given, we're going to go the other way. Given peach, that means we're only going to talk to the peach people. What's the probability of Chipotle? The P, that stands for probability of. All right. If you got the last example, you should get this one. It says given, so it can't be out of 22. Well, it's peach people are the what's given, so we only have a total of 9. And Chipotle is 8 out of the 9. Raise your hand if you had 8 out of 9. Okay, awesome. I think you got Venn diagrams. So, homework for today is on it's one of those deals where you've got a PDF with the questions on it, and then you type the answers over into the Schoology quiz. So let's start the PDF together. Everybody open up that PDF of the homework. It says Schoology quiz homework. Pause for a second, pull it up. All right, I have inserted the homework into the video here. And question number 1 is just asking how many students there are. Notice, it's not probability yet. Okay, A, students. Well, wait a minute. I guess I got to figure out what A is. So this is flag football. It says so here. And this is basketball. It says so here. And it's really common for people to go, oh, the 100, that goes right here. Remember me talking about how together those are 100? So if I were you, I'd put the 100 up here. 80 play basketball. Again, that's not here. Because there's some kids here who like basketball. Don't put it there. Basketball is 80, I'd put it right after basketball. 40 play both. Ooh, I know where that goes. 40 definitely goes there. So I already know B is 40. But now you can start using logic. Addie, if together they make 100, how much has to be here in this spot? Because we know total is 100. If I put 0 there, it'll be 40 plus 0 equals 100. That doesn't make sense. Getting closer. 60. It's okay. I'm sorry. I must have rattled you with my question. 60 plus 40 makes the 100, so A must be 60. Of course, you can use a calculator on these two. All right, Liam, see this situation? The total is 80. 40 in the middle. What's this got to be? 40. So we just figured out C is 40. And how are you supposed to be able to figure out what D is? All I know is that this, and this add up to 140. but there's 215 total. So you could subtract. If you know there's 140 so far, I can do it in my head. But you'd have to probably do 215 and then take away the 140 we already have. Anybody doing it in your head? All right. I'll help you. I'll be your calculator. 215, take away 140 is 75. That must be 75. So, those you could enter onto the Schoology. So everybody take a second, open up the Schoology quiz, enter 60, 40, 40, 75. You got the first 4 points. All right. Now this one's a little weirder because it's decimals in there. What is there, like parts of people? No, it's a probability Venn diagram, meaning there's a 10% chance that a kid is there. There's a 15% chance that a kid is there where they're in both. They're a sophomore and they're in advanced algebra. That's what this class is, actually. A lot of you guys are sophomores. There's a 12% chance a kid is here, and there's a 63% chance that they are not a sophomore and they are not in advanced algebra. Okay, so these are just percentages. It's actually a lot easier to do the questions when there's percents already there because you don't have to divide by anything. All right. What is the probability of a sophomore being in advanced algebra? All right. This one's tricky. It is not super clear. I don't like the wording of this because I can't tell if they're saying given that they're a sophomore, given I'm only talking to sophomores, if that's what it meant, then I'd have to divide it by those two, what's possible. But if it's just sophomore being in advanced algebra, I think what they meant, since this is like the first question of the homework, or almost the first one that's a probability, I think they just meant that. Sophomores in advanced algebra. If it said given, then it would be different. So again, I think it's this, and if I'm wrong, I will go fix the answer key. All right. Next one, what's the probability of a student being in advanced algebra? It's a trap. Everybody looks advanced algebra. They look right here. Wrong. There's more kids that are in advanced algebra than that. These kids are in advanced algebra too. Got to put those together. All of those guys I underlined are in advanced algebra. Add them up. Your answer is that decimal. All right. Probability of student being a sophomore or, or, isn't that the U thing? Yeah. And are those big answers or small answers? Big answers. Sophomore, advanced algebra, big answer, it's all these. Another way you could say it is, are you a sophomore or in advanced algebra? And those people would say, yeah. Are you a sophomore or in advanced algebra? They'd say, yeah. Ask these kids, are you a sophomore or in advanced algebra? And they'd say yes. All three of them would say yes. So you got to add them all up. Put it here. All right, I think you got the idea. There's obviously a few more questions left, but I think you're going to find this to be pretty easy. You heard chairs moving around. Makes it sound like it's the end of the hour, but you still have 20 minutes left here. So, ish. Or so. All right, so you got plenty of time to work. If you get stuck, please ask me. One word I didn't cover was only A. I bet you'll understand that only A means this. Because see, this is A and B. So only A, these guys only like apples, or whatever that is. This is the only. And these are also only people. Because these people like both. These people like only bananas. All right, so the onlys are the ones that aren't in the middle. I think the hardest questions are this kind, like number 4, where it adds up to 420. You can't even use that until you got all the other numbers. 126 study French, you put the 126 here. It's not 126 here. No, don't do that. That's really, really tempting. Okay. They almost always give you the middle one. When you just drop in that middle one, everything else kind of like falls into place through logic. All right. There's your homework. That's all I got for you for today.